When people ask me, how do I swim faster or smoother? My answer is completely different from one person to another. To give advice, at least I need a video to see what can be improved. 3 swimmers sent us their videos with completely different styles. If you want to send us your video, I'll tell you how at the end of the video. The mistakes are very different. The solutions are very different too, with one exception. There's one thing that they could all do that could benefit their swimming technique. First, let's talk about what he does well. He has a good turn, but what I really like is his dolphin kick. This allows him to keep swimming from one end to the other without stopping. Now, if you can see here, he does something with his hips that looks a little off. He's swimming in zigzag. Although he has a good timing with his arms and legs, when the left arm enters, his right leg goes down, which is good. However, when he's gliding, he contracts the side of his body. Remember that when we swim, we use the latissimus dorsi, the biggest muscle in the back that goes from the hips to the shoulders. So when we contract it, we're limiting the propulsion we get from the pool. Instead, we need to stretch it when we're gliding. That allows the latissimus dorsi to stretch and be ready for contraction. When you swim freestyle, you need to contract the side of your body a little bit, but while you're pulling, not while you're gliding. That's why Isaías looks like he's swimming in zigzag. The solution is first to assess his flexibility outside of the pool to see if he has enough mobility to do a latissimus dorsi stretch. The other thing I would say is to use fins and to focus on stretching that side of the body while he's gliding. Let's look at what Jauna does well. He sent us a video from the front and from the side. The more angles that we have, the better. And that's what we do in our swim camps. We record you from different angles, different speeds. What Jauna is missing here is we don't know what he's doing above the water. But let's focus on what we do have inside the water, which is the most important thing. He doesn't exhale the whole time his face is in the water. What we recommend is exhaling just as your head is turning, so you have more buoyancy and more pressure in the abdominal cavity. Some people are more comfortable exhaling while their head is in the water, and that's fine for different levels of swimming. But at Jauna's level, it's perfect what he's doing. The other thing is that the main propulsive face of the arm is with a high elbow. Remember that the beginning and at the end of the pool, we don't have a lot of propulsion. What happens in the middle is the most important. And a good setup is key to pull well. When he sets up his arm, his fingers are pointing down, the forearm is in line with the hand, and he has a high elbow, meaning the elbow is higher than the line from the shoulder to the wrist. Again, just like Isaías, he has good timing. Although he has a 2-beat kick or an arrow freestyle like we call it, the timing is perfect. When the left hand enters the water, the right leg goes down and the right arm is pulling. The kick is short and powerful. The glide, especially with the right hand, is smooth and relaxed. With the left, it goes up a little bit, but the setup is done well. So what can Jauna improve? The main thing that I see is that his ankles are in dorsiflexion a lot of the time, and that stops all the propulsion and the glide that he has. So the corrections again would start outside of the pool. My guess is that he might be a good runner, but he doesn't have enough flexibility or mobility or strength around the toes. And so I would do ankle exercises, toe exercises, and stretches. Whenever he can, I would advise to sit on his ankles while working or watching TV or scrolling through social media. Even though he doesn't use his legs a lot, I would use a kickboard and more kicking drills to correct that fluidity of the ankle. And one solution is using fins of any type while kicking and while swimming more often. This will allow him to create more pressure around his ankle, especially in plantar flexion. With more resistance comes more flexibility. Finally, we have Yvonne. What Yvonne does well is when she breathes to the left, she remains with the head in line with her body and close to the surface. When she breathes to the right, we can see that both goggles come out and the head is a little bit out of line with the body. She has a good body rotation, which allows her to have a better pull, and she has a good catch-up technique, meaning she waits for one arm to finish before she starts pulling with the other one. It's a little bit exaggerated. This is a good start, but we can see a few mistakes. She pulls water out at the end of the stroke, especially with the right hand. This makes her hips and body sink. The kick looks controlled at first, but if you count how many kicks she does per stroke, it's too much. She does 12 kicks for every stroke cycle. At the maximum, we recommend 6 kicks per stroke cycle. At the beginning of the stroke, she's rushing a little bit and she's pulling water down. You want to go slowly so you can set up a good middle pull. The knees are bent a little bit too much, and also the hips. For the first drill, I would recommend putting pull buoy between the ankles to control the legs a little bit, and then incorporating the kick little by little. I would do more drills and kicking with a kickboard just to feel a little bit more natural with the legs. But also, using fins will allow her to focus on the arms and not rushing the stroke or finishing too far out of the water. The three swimmers have very different techniques and very different problems, but one of the solutions is to use fins more often. This is something we don't recommend to everyone, but if you send us a video, we can tailor the advice to what we think would work best for you. If you want to send your video, you only have to answer this questionnaire. And to get to this questionnaire, you need to be subscribed to this level of members on YouTube. You can send us a video every month or cancel your subscription on the first month after sending the video. Remember, this is a YouTube service. We cannot cancel your subscription for you. This is not our app or our webpage. This is a YouTube subscription. This is the lowest price you'll find on a video analysis. And we can do this because we use it as content for our social media. But if you want a private analysis, you can do that too on the higher tier members on YouTube. When the demand for this service goes up, we'll cancel this level of subscription and the prices will rise. So make sure to send your video as soon as possible. If you want to find out more about our 5 pillars of swimming, click on this video. If you want to know more about our swimming camps, click on this other video. See you there. Swim smooth.